Right, boys and girls, what I wanted to show you this morning, I've started to old school style rebuild MG Midget gearboxes, simply because one, I've got an MG Midget and it's nice to understand how the gearbox works. Two, I'm going to eventually swap the gearbox out of my Midget and put in one of my rebuilt gearboxes. So I'd like to show you what I do initially to start. So obviously remove the bell housing from the casing. You can see I've got several other gearbox bell housings down there, and the tail shaft. Remove the tail shaft. Obviously they're in a bit of a state, so that one's in the process of getting cleaned, and obviously then empty the case of all the components, and then I put the case into the sonic cleaner, and that gets all the grunge and everything out of it. Then I etch prime the cases with an etch primer, and after that's dried and finished, I then move on to the black gloss. So all the gearbox casings have all been stripped down, right down to the bare components. They've been put in a sonic cleaner to get all the rust and detritus off, the grease and everything, and that is the first stage. So basically just getting a clean gearbox to start with. Each gearbox is then, the main shafts are then stripped down and out of all the components, and they're kept separately. So all the components out of this gearbox go into this tub here, and all the components out of this gearbox go into this tub here, and all the components out of this gearbox go into this here. I've got a couple of main shafts already stripped down that I'm going to show you later on about rebuilding the main shafts, how we go about rebuilding the main shafts, what to look for, what to replace if necessary. You can see that the tail shafts extension here, they've all been cleaned, all the internals have been removed, the bearings, speedo drive and everything off the main shaft's been removed, the speedo drive out of the gearbox end casing's been removed. So that's just a bare casing. Some of the gearbox casings need a little bit of work, and I can show you this one in particular that needs a little bit of work doing on it. No, actually it's not this one. There's two pins in here that hold on the plunger, the spring and the plunger for the gear lever, and a cover that fits on here. Now on this particular main shaft extension, these two pins, one of them was sheared off here, and one of them that goes inside into the gearbox was sheared off inside. The end was there, but the pin that one of the pins goes into the one of the pins comes into the gearbox, into the tail shaft, and that holds the gear lever in place. This one doesn't go right through. So I've knocked these two pins out, and I'm going to be replacing those. If I can't replace them myself, I'll take them down to the engineer, and he'll make me two pegs the same size as these two that fit into those holes. So that is that's where we are so far with the gearbox rebuilds. Now I've ordered three so far. I've ordered 3 gearbox rebuild kits, which are here. They cost £104 on eBay. Now I'm quite sure that you might be able to source the parts elsewhere. I particularly would rather just get all the bearings, all the bits, there's 50 needle roller bearings in there, brand new. There's 6 springs and new ball bearings. There's oil seals. There's a lay shaft. There's the there's the end bearings for the main shaft, and there's also the tail shaft bearing. And I just think I get the correct bearings, I get them all in one go. I've got all the parts I need to rebuild each gearbox. Oh, this is something that you might not be aware of. In the bottom of each gearbox there's a magnet, and this is the magnet. It's a very crude little magnet, but it's there. And I'll show you where that's later on in the gearbox. The hard part is getting all the filings and bits off that magnet so it's nice and clean. Yeah, there's still a couple of little bits on there that need to come off. So that's where we are so far. If I get enough people like the video about these MG gearbox rebuilds, I'll carry on making them. The gearboxes that I do rebuild, I'm going to put up for sale simply because it covers the cost of my own refurb of my own car. So the gearboxes are not reproduced gearboxes. These are going to be original gearboxes as fitted to the Midget and Triumph Spitfire. So they're not remanufactured. What you'll be buying is a fully rebuilt gearbox with all the internal parts that need to be replaced, balk rings, new balk rings as a matter of course. The gears if need be, if we can obtain the gears, we'll replace the gears that need replacing. I know you can get third gear and I know you can get first gear. So any of those gears that need replacing, including the lay shafts, they'll get replaced. Up to now I've checked all the forks on these gearboxes, and to be perfectly honest, they all look fairly good. So I'm quite happy with those. Now that'll go along into the rebuild later on. I'll show you how we go about checking those. So again, thanks to all my new subscribers. This is a new playlist that's going to be going on with the MG Midget 1500. So I thought I'd help myself and hopefully sell a couple of these gearboxes to anybody who's interested. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you.